Hello, everybody. Welcome to Russ Reels Live. I am Russ Hedge, and I am so glad to have you all here today. You know, I have got some amazing friends, and we are talking Amazon Live today. You know, there's some incredible things going on and information that I think will really help you today, but you'll at least find super interesting. And these friends of mine know way, way more about all of this live video than I do. In fact, they have taught me what I am doing today. So I appreciate them coming on today and spending some time with me. And first, though, I want to tell you, who am I? Well, there it says, Russ Hedge. I'm an inspiration specialist. I am a motivational keynote speaker. I'm a marketing coach. I love to be with people, and I love being on live video with you today. But you know, I love people in person, and I love to connect with people. A way to connect with me is to go to russhedge.com. That's russhedge.com. And I probably can even put that up on the screen as we're talking. That would be good. And then you can actually see it. There it is, russhedge.com. And, you know, I love to connect with people. It's got my email. It's got all my social media links. It's got my phone number. You can even connect with me on my calendar. You can schedule time to Zoom with me and we could talk face to face. I would love to do that. So if you get a chance and we haven't connected already, please connect with me. That would be fabulous. Anyway, I just want to tell you that I'm so excited again about having my friends here today. Now, Russ Reels Live is a show that rotates and it's not always on the same time. Every Monday and Thursday, I have Marketing with Russ, AKA hashtag Russ Selfie at 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And one of my guests is my co-host of the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. That would be D. Scott Smith that's on today. And we have that every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So tune into those shows as well. And I love to be able to get great, amazing guests on with me. Today, the first one I'm going to bring into is my good friend, Chris Stone. And Chris is an amazing guy. He's done some incredible stuff, but he's really gotten into Amazon Live. So we're going to start with him and bring Chris in. How's it going, Chris?
What's going on, Russ? How are you doing, man? You know what? You should add selfie specialist.
There you go.
Can you add selfie specialist to those titles?
I think that is a good idea because there's probably not a lot of selfie specialists out there.
There really is only one, and that's you.
Hashtag Russ Selfie. There you go.
That's right. That's right.
So good. Actually, it was fun. This morning I was at a networking event and at a client meeting, and I was busy taking pictures. And of course, I had to take some selfies and all that. So anyway, it's always a fun thing to do.
So well, it's always a pleasure to hang out with you, Russ. It's an honor that you invited me to Russ Reels, and you finally corralled me, and so now we actually get to talk. But yeah, my name is Chris Stone. I'm at Cast Ahead, and I work with motivated entrepreneurs to look and sound the best they can be. And sometimes that means it's live streaming. Sometimes it's podcasting. Sometimes it's a video for a keynote speech. It's all kinds of things. But really my focus and what really drove me to work with Jim Fuse and develop the show Dealcasters Live on Amazon was that we are motivated to help people look and sound good. And we're always talking about tech. It always ends up, that gets in the way with a lot of people. They get stuck with that. So what better place to do a show than in the middle of one of the biggest malls in the world, which is Amazon, and that's what we do on Dealcasters.
Yeah, you know, it was amazing because I didn't know much about that until you guys actually felt like that I was worthy of coming on Dealcasters with my book, Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. Right, Chris? There you go.
That's right.
You did a great little, what's it called again? GIF of me doing that, and I appreciate that. But it was a ton of fun, and I just loved hanging out with you guys. But you know, there's just amazing things going on there. We're going to bring in Jim Fuse next, who's also an amazing person of the infamous Tim and Jim show, among millions of other things, including Dealcasters. What's up, Jim?
It's great to be here, Russ. Thanks so much for inviting us to be on your show. It's been exciting times, I think, for me and Chris since we started this Amazon Live ride back in July of 2020. So we've been doing this for over a year. A little bit of the story is the StreamYard group. Russ Brand had shared, hey guys, I've got a video on YouTube showing you how you can become an Amazon influencer. And I knew I was an associate. So then, jumped on the video, 2 hours after, and it took like 5 minutes to get approved. 2 hours later, after talking with Chris, we had this idea for the show, and thus Dealcasters was born. And so when I'm not doing Dealcasters, I'm doing remote production. I also do digital marketing consulting under my company, Fusion Marketing. And actually, like I told you earlier, I just finished a couple events with IBM Research, and I'm now producing a show for IBM Research for about the next year. So, that's something that, there's Chris and I believe you got to like have multiple streams of income. So we don't want to put all our eggs in the Amazon basket, just like, the YouTube basket takes a lot of work. This takes work as well, but we definitely have felt like it's been worth it. And I think the bigger thing is the two of us have gotten to work together. And, I truly consider Chris one of my best friends, and he's also a great business partner as well.
That's awesome. Well, it's been great just becoming friends with the two of you. And, I just figure, why not make your own friends? So I just do shows and bring you guys on so people hang out with me. Maybe one of these days I will be worthy enough of Amazon. I'm working on that. I did get LinkedIn, which is amazing. That was all exciting back in the day when it was hard to get LinkedIn. That took a while. But, a lot of what I do today is because of my good friend, D. Scott Smith, who's the next man in the room, who is amazing and inspiring to me. I may be an inspiration specialist, but he is my inspirer. So, Scott, how's it going? Let us know what's going on.
Oh man, Russ, you're such a great friend and also a good business partner. I'm just grateful that we get to work together. And it was a while back. I met Jim actually through a Twitter chat, and we were connected on Twitter. Then I was down in San Diego. He was volunteering at Social Media Marketing World. He's got his tag on there. I'm walking by, I see the tag says Fusion Marketing. I'm like, I know you. And we just had a great conversation. Of course, we grabbed a Russ selfie and posted that because that's what you do. But it was so much fun where we built a friendship online and then actually meet face to face. What a great blessing. So the things that I'm involved in, I will tell you, my passion is with the solo entrepreneur, the freelancer, the small business owner that has maybe up to 20 employees, and how they can leverage their professional network to be overwhelmed with referrals. Because I guarantee you that every person watching, listening live in the replay already has a fabulous network filled with remarkable people who want them to win and wants them to succeed. You just need to let them know what you do, what problem you solve, and who you solve it for.
Well,
and
I think
a lot of live video as well.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And Scott, you have been such a driving force in all that I do. And I just appreciate you. And I continue to learn from all of you. And Chris, we're going to bob back to you. When it came to the Amazon thing, first of all, well, let me back up. I did want to say one thing that I didn't say just a minute ago, and that is I probably owe the friendship with all of you to you, Scott, because Scott introduced me to the Global Tea Break, where I met Jim Fuse, who introduced me to the Jim and Tim Show, where I met Tim Sohn, and then they invited me on Dealcasters, where I met Chris Stone, and it was amazing being able to meet you guys and grow. And I've learned so much. And Chris, you are very, very knowledgeable out of the industries you've come out of. What really attracted you to the Amazon arena?
Well, Jim and I, we have our own businesses, and a lot of it is related to remote production, and that may be a show like you're seeing right here, or it may be a virtual conference, or it may just be a recorded sort of podcast that takes post editing. And so he and I are based here in Atlanta, and we were, kind of met at a podcast meetup. So again, we're back to networking, right? We're back to this is when people met in real life, and now they're starting to do that a little bit more. But Russ, you've done a great job of doing a lot of that same idea virtually. But we had been doing this, looking for an excuse to do a show together. And, a lot like Russ, you and Scott got together and did the experience, and that's a great show. And you look for great people to surround yourself with. The whole iron sharpening iron proverb there is so true. Just to find somebody, just one other person or more, a community of people that can help you, because you're not always going to be your best at all times. And we keep each other in check. And we really did want to do a show, but we just couldn't figure out what that was. We knew it was something to do with helping people get past that mind junk that keeps them from pushing the button and recording a podcast, or pushing the button and doing a live stream, or doing whatever that is. And when Jim called me and said, "Hey, we're Amazon influencers," it was like, we finally have a show. And in 2 hours, we just like sat down and just came up with the name and the logo, and started calling guests and started figuring all of this stuff out, which is what we do, is try to figure out stuff so that we can help other people figure it out a little bit more quickly. And so that's really what got us into it. And then our expectations, Russ, honestly, were this. It really wasn't about being successful necessarily in financial ways. It was just a way for us to have a show together and to have that social proof of, hey, these guys do video, these guys do editing, these guys know what they're talking about in terms of gear and coaching and mentoring and all of these things that we do. So this was our way to do this show and put it up in the biggest mall of the world. And then our expectations were blown at just how much it's grown in the past year for us.
Yeah, it is amazing. So the whole online community has just blown up over the last year and a half. And it's allowed so many of these things. Like you said, the collaboration of you guys coming together with an excuse to do a show. I mean, Scott brought up the idea originally for he and I to do the experience, and I was all over that. I love doing things like this. I love collaborating and bringing in multiple voices on a topic, because it's a lot of fun. I sit here and learn so much from everybody talking. And Jim, you were just a huge influential a person for me when I started. You gave me a lot of advice. We have Alan Hennessy in the comments as well, who helped a ton. And so you have really grown a lot. And what you've been such a blessing, willing to share, give me a little hand up, and I've tried to pass that on and give other people behind me a hand up with what they're doing. What really attracted you to Amazon when you got going?
Well, I think it was just kind of, in some aspects, it was the mystery of like, here's something like, even we had no idea when I applied how many people were even influencers. And as we've come to find over time, we still don't know, even though we attend the webinars, as does D. Scott, how many influencers are there. We guess maybe 1,000, but a lot of them, right, they get approved and then they don't do it. And then we've even found, talking with people like Madeline Scalar, was on her Twitter chat talking about Amazon Live, and she's like, oh, I didn't know she's an influencer, but she still hasn't done anything with it. And I think part of it is that people don't realize that really it's an opportunity for you to make affiliate revenue on steroids if you're able to get into the program. I mean, Chris talks about it all the time. First of all, just about anyone can get approved for the associates program. You're able to share the links, but to get people to take action on the link is a completely different story than when you're live. And that was kind of the attraction of it, is you've got items in your carousel, and because you're on Amazon, it's like the people are in the mall. It's like, Chris likes to joke about how it's like if you're driving down the road and you see like a pizza sign on a telephone pole, you'll think about it, but you're going to keep driving because you got other things going on. But this is like being at Costco, where we're that guy at the sitting there, or gal sitting there by the frozen food section. Would you like to try this? And that trying it is like the cookie. And so, but then the difference is anything you buy for the rest of the time you're in the Costco, we get a percentage of. So you may not even like what I gave you, but I'm going to go buy this instead. And Amazon's like, hey, you influenced this person to purchase based on their interaction with you. And, that is like in some aspects priceless. And the other thing is, this is huge in Asia. In fact, in our group, there was a video, I guess a Zoom the other day, And this guy, Ehud, who's originally from Israel, been doing this stuff for a while, shared how these two Chinese influencers, I believe, and Chris, I think you might have heard the story as well. They made $3 billion in sales in like one show, and they get a percentage of that. And it's just like they're gonna, if that was like Chris and I did this show, we might have to say, I think we can retire now. I don't know why I want to keep going live. It's like it's too much money. So it's just starting here, right? There's all this chatter kind of going on that as people see how this is doing, and because it's successful in Asia, will some of the other big boxes, because online shopping's become so big, will as an example, Target or Walmart or some of these other brands say, hey, we need to get some influencers too. And so I think this places you well to be ready to make that move if because you've always, I think part of being a retired Marine and the mindset I have is you've always got to be ready to adapt and overcome. You can't just sit there and pound your fist on the table and say, well, that's not fair. I always I told my kids, and then, I'll still tell them, and they're in their 20s, life's not fair. So you just
he says it to me.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's so true. You said it. You need to adapt, especially we've learned that over the last year and a half. If you are not, and also you said at the beginning, taking action on the opportunity there's so many opportunities out there that people aren't taking action on. And we all are guilty of that to some extent because we only have so much time in the day. But I think you guys have taken advantage of this amazing opportunity, and the person that keeps prodding me forward and everything I'm doing, D. Scott Smith, what got you excited about Amazon?
Well, live video or streaming video has been around for a while. My first engagement with that was back in the late 90s, and we had these Plantronics cameras on the top of 32-inch CRT TVs. Horrible picture, terrible sound. And then that migrated. We were using right around 2000, we were using NetMeeting, and that was horrible, but it was something. Then came along Skype. We started doing video with Skype, and that's where we first started doing some webinars. I mean, myself, I started doing webinars and training through that. Then at Hewlett Packard, we ended up with this ultra high-end video conferencing where we built these studios. It was all done in collaboration with DreamWorks, and DreamWorks is really good about making 2D things on the screen look better than they should. And HP had this technology. So we built this technology. Those studios, by the way, sold for $1 million per room and had a $35,000 per month hookup fee. Wow. And the first customer we sold those to was Coca-Cola. They bought 3 rooms. So you can imagine what it's like today when you can set up a free account and do video conferencing, the same thing that Coke was doing for $1 million a room back, and that was back in 2005. So here I am. I've got this idea of video conferencing. I had been using it, and I'm talking with Jim probably it was on the Global Tea Break, and people had been doing live video on online for a while. Meerkat, and then what was the other one that was on Twitter that's gone away now?
Oh, Periscope.
Periscope. Meerkat, then Periscope, Facebook Live, Instagram TV, and so people were doing that. And then came along LinkedIn Live, and you had to apply, and you had to get in. And if you're lucky, like Russ, they accept you, and you can broadcast live into LinkedIn. And then here's Jim Fuse, and he's talking about broadcasting on Amazon. And I'm going, that is much more exotic than anything else.
Exotic.
And tell me about this. Well, Amazon made it really difficult. They made it difficult to find the video. Now, even on the mobile app, there's a button where you can click and you can watch these streams, because most people, when you say, hey, we can promote your product or your book right on Amazon Live, And Jim, Chris, what do you hear?
When can we get on your show?
Or well, first of all, they go, "What's that?"
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
First of all, they go, "What's that?"
Yeah.
You go, "Hey, look."
Where do I find it?
Hey, and when you talk about Amazon being the world's largest shopping mall, just to give people a scale, earlier this year they were cracking down against counterfeit products, so they delisted a number of products. They took down 10 billion listings off of Amazon, and guess what? Nobody even noticed that those products were gone. Just to give you a scale of how much is out there. And so now, because of Jim, I made my application back in May. And at the time, what they did is they look at your social media following. So, and then they want to see, do you have enough engagement? Do you have some, followers? And then they'll give you an approval. So I applied using my Twitter account, and the same thing like Jim. Within an hour, I'm approved, and I was ready to do my first broadcast. So I got approved on a Tuesday. I did my first live broadcast that following Saturday. Well, you can just go to amazon.com/live, scroll down, you'll see the thing. Do you want to be an influencer? Click the button, make the application. The worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to say no. But they're going to look at, actually the worst thing that happens is they say yes, and then you have to do something with it, just like Veronica was saying in the chat. But you need to have a good YouTube or Instagram or a business Facebook, or now they've added TikTok. So if you have a big following on TikTok, you can now apply to be an influencer on Amazon.
Well, it is amazing how all of this has come about and how the influencer community has grown so much. And I agree with you that other people are going to start jumping on board with that. Do you guys hear whisperings of changes coming? I know right now it's really hard. You have to have a lot of followers on other social media to even get on that. Are they going to continue, Chris, to keep that really kind of a special, hard to get into thing, kind of like LinkedIn did at first? Or do you think they're going to ease that up a little bit and let more people in the game?
Oh, I think it's going to continue to change. It's changed since the minute that we were a part of this thing. And I think it goes to a lot of what Scott, that was fantastic, synopsis of where, Amazon is currently, where they were and where they're going. But I think something that's always been true, it doesn't matter what platform you're on. And people don't want to hear it whenever I show up and I tell them this. And that is, there's not a lot of people that are willing to do the hard work to be successful. And there's no easy button, especially on a brand new platform, on a massive platform with a very shallow pool of content creators. So they went in on this thing, but they're learning as they go. And so they have a lot of people that are looking at it. There's a lot of money invested in it. And so they're going to move goalposts on you. They're going to do things like test, and you're going to wonder where your clicks are. And they're going to do things like, hey, guess what? Now it's TikTok and not Twitter. And tomorrow they may decide they're not going to do it anymore. And that's why, as a content creator, as an entrepreneur, as an influencer in general, you gotta find multiple streams of income. You can focus on something, but in the end, you've got to do the hard work that it takes to be successful. You got to continue. You got to be consistent with the content. But I'm here to tell you, like, I know enough to be dangerous. All of us know enough to be dangerous, so to speak, on Amazon. But tomorrow there'll be something else. The day after that, there'll be something else. And so if you stay on top of this stuff, then you can continue to be better. And when I say successful, Russ, I'm not talking money necessarily. I mean, Jim and I weren't in it for the money. We were in it to have a show together and to test it out and to have fun and to get and teach people how to do what we were already doing. That was it. And so the commissions are a gift, and that's the way we've always, and that keeps our mindset like down the road. So when Amazon says, hey, guess what? We're going to pull this off the table. We're going to pull this off the table. We don't complain, because what are you going to do? Like complaining does nothing for you. It does nothing for you. So
No, it doesn't.
They'll change.
I think things are totally changing. And, we've seen that in the recent, again, year and a half in all that we're doing. And, Jim, Veronica had a question here that you may be able to answer. I'm not 100% sure what she's talking about, but she said, did you hear that we might start owning our customers' emails? You know anything about that?
I have not heard that. That would be great in a way, because then we could actually create email list and, let them know, hey, we're going to go live this time, that time, or maybe even share, some of the links of products we know that are, coming up on sale. Maybe we get some advanced deals. But I will say something. I wanted to go back to this, because I had not heard, because I have not looked at the application process recently, about this whole TikTok influencer getting in, because this is where I think this kind of goes back to the platform you get in on can potentially have a lot of impact on your ability to be successful as a creator. Instagram, and I would say TikTok as well, these are people that are used to doing short form content. That may work great for shoppable videos, but the truth is, to get into the Amazon Live tiered system, to move up, one, you got to get a lot of followers, but two, you have to have really good content, and they want you to go live for 20 or more. In fact, they start to say, we'd like to go live at least 30 minutes. The other rule changes have come along is A-listers, which in some ways we're glad we're not there yet. Every one of the products in your carousel you have to own or have the ability to show it. It's 75% for the insider level, which is what I think Scott is, as we are as well. And so you're already starting to see that, that chatter. We're like, well, what do you mean I got to have this stuff that I'm talking about? And so that's going to, start to create that barrier to maybe not so much entry, but it'll be that barrier. Like, I'm not going to go live because it's a lot of work and I don't want to have to do that. And that's why, Chris and I look at this is hard work. There have been people now that have gotten what they call a strike. At 3 strikes, you get reduced to the previous level you were at. So you could get kicked off the ability to go live on Amazon. And then, in some aspects, same thing with shoppable videos. People are getting banned from being able to put any more shoppable videos out there. So the way Chris and I treat this, right? It's a business. We follow the rules. We're not trying to game a system just to make a few bucks. And so I think we see that in some of the community where there's these people that are looking at this as like an opportunity to make money. And so I think even if they did give us the emails, I think that would be something that somebody will do something wrong and then they'll like take it away. So, but I had not heard
it's not
one.
for everybody, right? It's not. The platform is not for everyone, and our voices are not for everyone on the platform either. But Russ, there was a comment here from Rob on LinkedIn, and I think it's something that I think would be a fantastic discussion, because it not only applies to Amazon, but just content creation in general, whether it's just a podcast or whether it's YouTube or whatever. Great discussion. The only trouble with influencers is you have to have an identifiable brand. Content creation for the sake of content creation generates nothing. 100% true. Could not agree with Rob any more than that. I mean, if you don't know why you're doing it, don't do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Right? Nobody wants to hear your podcast if you're just going through the motions, right? We love to do this, and we have an identifiable brand, and we have a mission. We know what we were set out to do, and that is our focus. And we know who we're talking to. We know what their problems are. Scott talked about this earlier. Find out what their problems are. Your content is what solves their problems. And so, you can toss around the word brand. A lot of people think font and logo. That's not all that a brand is. That's part of association. But when someone says Dealcasters, they may think of that little headphone brand, but I would hope that they would think about more than just that. And that's what our brand is. But creating content just for the sake of creating content, don't do it. Couldn't agree with Rob anymore on that.
Well,
Yeah, I love that.
Rob is a great guy and a great friend. And I agree with both of you 100%, because people are they're drawn to your authenticity and who you really are and what you're putting out. Your brand is all you. And so, you just get down to technical points of how do you promote that brand? Yes, where it comes to fonts and colors and all of that. But, you can do that all day long. And if you're just a big phony that nobody really cares to listen to, it's going nowhere, right? So, Scott, I'm going to kick it over to you. We're going to wrap things up here, but I'm going to give you give us your last word and contact information first.
Sure, a couple of items here. One of them was I love the content. I mean, that's absolutely true, right? You can go on to any platform, but Amazon is true too. If it's not interesting, if it's not interesting to you, it's definitely not interesting to anyone else. I've been selling, I think I first sold in 2007 on Amazon with the first company, and probably 5 different companies through there. And it is one of those things that continues to change. Back when it first started, we were getting all of the emails of the customers that purchased, and then that changed. And now recently, there was an article that just came out that Amazon, they will produce videos. They'll get an influencer and they'll produce an Amazon live show for a brand at their studios in New York. And one of the benefits of doing that is that those brands will actually get the emails that are generated through that. Now, the price for that has increased. It was $35,000 to do a show that's produced by Amazon in their studios. Now they just announced that it's $85,000 for this holiday season. So I will just throw out there that if anyone wants to do a show and to promote their product or their book, so mostly what I've been doing is author interviews, because I know a lot of people that have written books. So why would I not promote those on Amazon? So I know, talk to Jim, talk to Chris. Cami Hoysa is also an Amazon influencer. I guarantee you, we will not charge $85,000.
Hey, don't speak for me, Scott. Come on.
Scott, how do they get in touch with you? Double
that.
Scott, what is your contact information?
The easiest way to find me is you can find me on LinkedIn at D. Scott Smith, my website, dscottsmith.com. If you put in the hashtag motivational listener on any of the platforms, you're going to find me, and you can go to www.motivationallistener.live, and that will direct you to go see the live and replays of the broadcasts that I've done on Amazon. Thank you to Jim Fuse for that trick of buying a domain and hitting a redirect. So there you go.
There you go.
And I have to give credit. That was Chris's idea to come up with, for us, dealcasters.live. And really it's because Amazon gives you this ugly URL, it's amazon.com. And then you get in Egyptian hieroglyphics, and that I can't even, remember like more than 3, because, Marines don't have great memories, right? And so we had to keep it simple, right? And you want to keep it simple for people to be able to find you. And I think that was a big part of it. It's been, great for us. I mean, we just had a podcast interview recently. We talked about how that's got us on page 1 on Google. If you type in Dealcasters, you'll find us.
Yeah. Well, you guys have done some amazing stuff. Jim, give us your last word and contact information too.
Yeah, just, LinkedIn is probably the best place to contact me directly. Otherwise, if you want to find out more about Chris and I think we now have, is it dealcasters.connect? Chris has got all of our stuff.
Contact.
There you go.
Cool. Excellent. All right. Chris, you're up.
This little thing down here tells you how to get to me. That's we've been talking a lot about redirects, and plus, Russ, for your listeners, for your viewers today, we have a deal for you. You can get your own .live for $1.99, less than a cup of coffee in Oregon. You can get your own .live go to name.com/live. And we got a branded page there that we partner up with name.com, and you can search for your name, your show, and you can find a yourname.live for $1.99, and then you can decide where you want to port your fans, your viewers, your listeners to see your live show. If it's on Amazon, if it's on wherever, on the interwebs, on the tubes, go to name.com/live, and it's $1.99. That's a deal only for the Russ Reels super fans.
Do it.
Okay, tell us that one more time.
Do it now. Say
Do
yes.
it one more time so I can write it down. Name.com.
Name.com. Yep, /live.
Got it. I'm on it. All right. Well, guys, listen, it has been fabulous. I just love you guys and appreciate you coming on.
You too, man.
And spending time. And $1.99 forever, right, Veronica? There you go. All right.
Not forever. That's unfortunately after a year, the price goes up to like $20.
$87,000.
No, it goes up to $20. But let me tell you, Veronica, great question. The reason why we bought ours, and we bought ours before we were able to get them for $1.99. And we got .shop, .contact, .university, .academy. We bought them all, and we redirect them to different places, because when you're on social audio, Clubhouse, Twitter Spaces, something like that, and somebody says, well, how do I get to your shop? Do you want to say, blah-de-blot / hieroglyphics after? No, you're lost after the dot. You're lost, as Jim would say, you lost me at the slash. So we bought a bunch of them, and they make, I gladly will pay $20 a year after my 1 year is up. And after a year, if it's not working for you, you're not using it, just cancel it. That's what we'll do.
Well, it's interesting because it is so true. You guys brought this up. Simplicity is where things are at. Not only do the people watching us have, very short attention span, because that's how we've all been made to be. But second of all, if it's more than one click to get to it, it's not going to happen. That's why Amazon went with the one-click purchase. I mean, people can go in and just go click. It's dangerous because you can spend a lot of money that way, but one click, you've already bought it. And so, that's what people need. And so I appreciate this information, and I'm definitely going to take advantage of that. I think Scott's been pushing me that direction anyway. I appreciate you guys so much for coming on today. And
let me throw one quick thing in there that if anyone like this holiday is going to be doing any shopping on Amazon, which is very likely that you are, go to dealcasters.live or motivationallistener.live, but go to dealcasters.live, watch the video, click on anything in one of the carousels 24 hours within 24 hours of your purchase on Amazon, and give Jim and Chris some love.
There you go. That's it. It's all about supporting each other. And that's what I have loved about making friends through this online community. There's so many people doing similar things, but everybody is collaborating and helping each other out. Everybody's giving each other a little hand up. And I really appreciate you guys for the influence in my life and the education helping me along. So thanks for all that you've done.
You're awesome, Russ.
Thank you. You guys rock it.
All right, guys, hang tight here. I'm going to wrap it up. Listen, I am so thankful for all of you that have tuned in today. I love this live stream, just opportunity to reach out to the world. We've had people all over the world with us just now on this show, and it's amazing the influence you can have. We all are leaders and influencers in one way or another, whether you're an Amazon live influencer or you're just influencing your family or the people in your neighborhood. You have a way to impact people for the positive. And, I always talk about live the life you choose, because life happens and then you choose. Then you get to choose to be positive, negative. Then you get to choose to take action or just sit back and do nothing. Today, I want to encourage you, take action, get out there, do positive things, make life better. My purpose or why in life is to encourage and inspire you to live a purpose-driven life of significance. I want you to be a world changer. I want you to be a difference maker. I want you to be a positive influencer to all that you know, and you can do it if you choose to do it. So Get out there today. Have an awesome, it's going to be the weekend here. Weekend's coming up. So have an awesome weekend until we see you again. Have a great day and a great life. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.